across the metro. And the chances for storms are on tap once again for this Denver 7 Weather Action Day.
Yeah, we have team coverage, keeping an eye on the roads and the skies. And of course, all that hail in one high country community. It looks almost like winter out there. First, though, let's get over to Lisa Hidalgo with what's coming next for us.
Well, we've got another round of potentially more severe weather. When you look at our severe weather outlook now, it's going to be the lowest on the tier. When you see a marginal risk there in green, it does cover the entire front range, though, all of the I-25 corridor. So expecting those storms to get going again after lunchtime and really through mid-afternoon and through the early evening commute is when we're going to see potentially, again, more lightning, thunder, flooding rain will be an issue. And look at how much cooler it is today. 60s this morning, and that is where we will hover in the mid to, it looks like, upper 60s through lunchtime, getting finally into the low 70s, low to mid 70s right around 4 to about 5 o'clock. So Denver looking at a high of 75. It's a good 15, near 17 degrees cooler than what we saw yesterday, and there will be that chance again for more rain. When you look at the threats, the areas here shaded in green, flash flood concerns. We'll take a closer look at some of these watches, and I'll show you how long this is going to last. This cool, wet weather coming up in just a few minutes.
And right now you are going to get wet on I-76. That's one area I've been watching right now as the storm is moving this way. You can see here on the camera there in Fort Morgan where you can see it's dry for now, but the dark clouds are abounding. And you can see on the map up that way that right now I-76 traffic is moving along fine in Fort Morgan, Sterling, heading up that way, but it's going to be very wet very soon. The drive on Highway 36 a little bit slow for you, getting through that drive from basically Federal on up to Sheridan. Then it starts to break free. Still a little bit of leftover traffic for you here on 270 and I-70 out to the east side of town. South side of town just a bit busy. We still had a little bit of a traffic jam right around Castle Pines. Had late construction early this morning. It's been on and off a little bit slow right through there, but not worth an alternate route right now. The rest of the drive, like you see on 225, busy down from Parker Road.
Right now, we continue to track breaking news we've been following for the last hour now. Fire officials confirm the apartment fire off Alameda and Peoria is under control. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Everyone made it out safely, and firefighters were able to rescue 2 dogs from this building, but investigators are still working to determine the cause. All morning, we've been following the aftermath of a massive dump of hail up in Estes Park. In fact, so much came down, people had to shovel to get their vehicles out.
Denver 7's Jessica Crawford has been talking to people marveling at the weather out there.
Yeah, so you had some people earlier who, were maybe a little frustrated by the hail that was piling up in the streets, but you have other people who are embracing it. And that's this, I want to say brother and sister, right? Cousins. Okay, those are these cousins. What are y'all's names?
Tripton.
Cleo. Tripton and Cleo. Okay, so Tripton and Cleo, they're out here. What made y'all want to stop by here, first of all, and then second of all, lay down on this giant pile of hail?
It looks like a nice pillow.
Y'all see, I'm already falling. I don't understand how they're so comfortable. So they say it looks like a nice pillow. So they are just several people who have stopped by just to, like you said, marvel and to look at everything that's going on out here. So a lot of hail piled up here on the side. We have seen plows moving through. So originally when we first got out here, there was just so much snow on the sidewalks, but now these are more clear. People are able to walk through, and also the streets are clear as well. People are able to travel. But just a few hours ago, definitely not this site. Like I said, a little bit more difficult to travel through here. The Estes Park Police Department posting on its Facebook page saying who had this kind of weather, who had this kind of expectation on their July 2022 bingo card. Certainly something that not a lot of people expected. So, people really here are embracing it though and enjoying this little bit of Christmas in July out here in Estes Park. I'm Jessica Crawford, Denver 7.
Right, Jessica. Thanks. I don't know that you can really make a hail angel. Checking in at DIA, there was a brief ground stop this morning due to weather. It has now been lifted. We are still seeing a few issues. At least 57 flights are currently delayed and a half dozen have been canceled. So call or check online before you head out to the terminal.
Breaking this morning, JetBlue Airlines has reached a deal to buy Spirit Airlines hours after Denver-based Frontier abandoned its proposal. The JetBlue acquisition will create the 5th largest airline in the country and remove one of the discount airlines from the market. JetBlue's all-cash bid of $3.7 billion was far higher than Frontier's stock and cash offer. So we head to the U.S. Capitol this morning, where the Senate could vote on a major spending bill as early as next week. This comes after West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin reversed course and says he has agreed now to vote in favor of the bill. It addresses health care, energy, climate, and taxes on corporations and the wealthy. It was just 2 weeks ago he backed away from climate measures being included in the bill because of inflation.
Breaking this morning, U.S. GDP was down 0.9% in the second quarter of the year. That's worse than what analysts were expecting, and it's the second quarter in a row showing a downturn, which is what many experts say signals we're in a recession. Stocks reacting to the news this morning after a rally yesterday. Pretty stable right now. The Dow is trading at a bit of a loss, down about 0.4% right now.
These latest moves come just hours after the Federal Reserve raised interest rates once again to help control inflation.
ABC's Rebecca Jarvis has more on the impacts we could all see when it comes to our money.
This morning, as Americans brace for a possible recession, the Fed, determined to fight historic inflation, raising interest rates by another 0.75 percentage point, the 4th rate hike this year.
My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship, especially on those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials like food, housing, and transportation.
Rising prices costing families an extra $493 a month, with the soaring cost of housing hitting many especially hard.
This has been very stressful overall because everything's going up, but my paycheck is not going up.
Asia Mabry, a public school employee and single mom in Louisville, Kentucky, forced to downsize when her rent rose more than $350 last month to $1,229.
I am now in a 1-bedroom and I am paying more than I was with the 2-bedroom.
While there's hope the Fed's moves will eventually bring prices down, they also mean the cost to borrow money is going up. Take, for example, the mortgage on the average $416,000 home in America. Assuming you put 20% down, earlier this year, it would have cost you about $1,700 a month to own. But at today's 30-year fixed rates, that same house will cost you more than $2,300 a month.
Because of home price appreciation and because of rising mortgage rates, the average monthly payment on a mortgage has risen 40% since the start of this year.
So what is happening to home sales, especially here in the Denver area? Well, there's some good news, actually. The steep price increases that have defined the pandemic are finally cooling off. New data from Case-Shiller shows the average monthly appreciation in the Denver metro was 4.5% in March, but that dropped down to just over a point in June. That is a faster drop off than the rest of the country. Buyers may also have more time to shop because there will be more homes staying on the market. 20% of pending offers were canceled nationwide last month because of increasing interest rates. Sellers may have to come down in the price or give other concessions to buyers to close.
Coming up, how cutting down on your food waste could help the impact of inflation.
And as we take a live look outside from our Denver 7 studios, it's a cool, cloudy start to the day. We could see more rain later. Lisa is timing out the next set of storms.